Mark Belnick was a well-respected partner at the big law firm of Paul West. He spent 26 years at the firm and was considered a legal titan, specializing in dealing with the SEC. He earned around $1 million in 1998. Belnick was raised as an Orthodox Jew and served 4 terms as president at the Harrison Jewish community. Belnick abruptly quit Paul West and became general counsel at the conglomerate Tyco International, primarily to help to deal with the SEC itself. Tyco CEO Dennis Kozlowski and CFO Mark Schwartz came under scrutiny for questionable financial dealings and eventually were accused of looting Tyco for their own financial gains and using money for personal purchases. Belnick had a lot of friends at the SEC and was very well respected. He met the SEC for an investigation head-on and fully cooperated with their investigation. This led to the SEC closing their investigation against Tyco. Tyco was thrilled with Belnick's work, and according to Tyco, he did such good work that Belnick received a $17 million bonus, a bonus prosecutors say was for covering up Tyco's financial misdeeds, and they charged Belnick with the crimes of grand larceny, stock fraud, and falsifying business records. Belnick testified as his own defense, a move that was rare for criminal defendants. The trial lasted 11 weeks and 5 days of jury deliberation. Belnick was acquitted of all charges. One of the more interesting and unusual side notes of the trial, at the time Belnick joined Tyco, he also converted Catholicism and became a member of the Opus Dei. This came as a shock to all who knew him, including his wife, Randy. Belnick's spiritual advisor was Father C. McCloskey, the head of the Catholic Information Center in Washington, D.C. Father McCloskey was a superstar in his own right and is credited for the conversations of not only Belnick, but Robert Bork, Lawrence Kudlow, Laura Ingraham, and a host of other rich and powerful Washington insiders. Belnick jokingly called him C. John the Baptizer. Throughout his legal career, Mark Belnick was an example of prudence, virtue, and exhibiting what Aristotle would call intuitive reason, and Aquinas would call understanding. He used this legal practice to benefit off of his own clients and ultimately his own defense. Belnick's character was under fire, and he defended his actions as moral and as judgments as proper. In accordance with Veritas Splendor defines human acts as moral acts because they express and determine the goodness or evil of the individual. According to St. Thomas Aquinas, justice is destroyed by the false prudence of the sage and by the violent act of the man who possesses power. In this sense, one could be credibly argued. Tyco executives destroyed false prudence and thus committed an injustice, but one could also conclude that justice was served by Belnick, who did his duty and defended Tyco against the SEC investigation.